The 10th chapter of this book will be on the Ottoman Empire and the context that it lived in, dealing with friends and enemies in both the East and the West. This was by far the longest lasting dynasty in Islamic history, having remained in power for more than 600 years. And as such, the world changed a lot during their rule. Empires rose and fell, gunpowder was invented, and the world saw the Industrial Revolution, which changed the course of history forever. This will probably be one of the longer chapters in the book, since I also need to explain the rise and fall of some of the surrounding nations as well. For example, the Mamluks, the Timurids, the Safavid dynasty that forced Shi'ism onto the Iranians in a way to counter the Ottoman influence. And then there are all the sultans and the reforms that they made and the contributions that each one of them made to the ummah. There are also the conquests into Europe and the spreading of Islam in the Balkans, which led to huge populations of Bosnia and Greece and Bulgaria and Albania becoming Muslim. And of course how they influenced places as far away as Hungary to the north. But there's one problem with doing research on the Ottomans, and that's the fact that there's not a lot of good information in the English or even Arabic languages about them. The Arabs, they don't really study the Ottomans, and the West studies them from the perspective of them being an enemy. So the only nation that more or less has objective research on them is Turkey. And Turkey is a very closed country. O zaman iyi ki Türkçe konuşuyorum. For the sake of organization and maintaining the story structure to the book, most likely I'll end the chapter towards the peak of Ottoman rule, around the time, for example, of Suleiman the Magnificent, or maybe towards the beginning of the Tanzimat reforms, which is when they tried to sort of like modernize. Some people might call this westernize. The rest of Ottoman rule, which is often characterized as like a slow decline, I'll save that part of the rule for a later chapter called colonization, which goes over the decline of the Muslim nations around the world in a lot more detail. So the Ottomans, they play a really important part because it's their fall that led to several nations in the Middle East being colonized and the institution of the caliphate being completely abolished. So if you're interested in this book, go to my website and pre-order the book now. I will literally write your name into the book as an honor to you for being one of the original backers of this project. But this is only for the people that pre-order the book during this Ramadan only. May Allah honor your name with a legacy that the ummah will never forget. And may the generations of people who read this book hundreds of years from now know that it was you who was the reason why this book could even exist in the first place. Ameen.